Well, true love has conquered the curse on Eddie Brock's heart. Just kind of in the regular course of things, he didn't need to do anything special. And the symbiote conveniently cured the massive wound from being stabbed straight through his heart. I imagine it just kind of got in there and used itself to paste things back together. Heart surgery is not that hard. So Venom is in tip-top shape and ready to fight his enemies some more. Will this battle ever end? It better. There's only a few chapters left. If you have fan fiction to submit to us, whether or not you've written it yourself, or if you have fan art that you did make yourself, you can email them to fanficnight@orderoftheleague.com. This is Fanfiction Theater, a celebration of naive writing and all of its foibles, flaws, and unintentional hilarity.
Spider-Man and Iron Man stood back to back, fending off their three attackers. Despite their great skill and powers, they were simply overwhelmed. It seemed when they repelled one attacker, two more took his place. Iron Man threw a punch that collided with Carnage, sending him flying backward as Serpentine went on the attack against Spider-Man. After delivering several lightning-fast punches to the hero, Spider-Man finally knocked Serpentine off balance.
Straight to the hero.
What? Yeah, that was only revealed in Karate Kid 3. Spider-Man finally knocked Serpentine off balance using a low kick and web slung him across the room. However, Tyranis took that opportunity to make his move. Closing in on the heroes, he raised his staff overhead as a strange energy flowed through it. He then brought the end of the staff down onto the ground at full force, creating an energy attack that sent the heroes flying backward and colliding into a nearby wall. They quickly rolled back onto their feet and resumed a fighting stance. Iron Man raised one of his metal arms, preparing to fire a salvo of rockets as the three villains closed in on them. Serpentine and Carnage were at the front, while Tyranis was a few steps behind them. Once he strolled up behind his minions, he commanded,
"Finish them off."
Finish him. Serpentine and Carnage were about to leap forward when something wrapped around both of their necks and jerked them to the ground and onto their backs. Tyranis quickly turned around to find Venom approaching them, saying,
"You wanted to dance with the devil? Well, here I am."
You ever dance with the devil? Well, here I am. Carnage and Serpentine freed themselves from the webs as Tyranis said,
"You fool. I've given you the gift of vengeance and the opportunity to kill Spider-Man, but you chose the Queen instead."
An evil smile broke across Venom's face as he replied,
Is that how you spell vengeance?
That is how you spell vengeance.
Okay, well, stand by my pronunciation.
I was like, you're having fun. Just go for it, you know?
We still plan on killing Spider-Man, but when the chance comes, we will do it of our own accord. Not because I was made to by some cheap conjurer of tricks.
Rage.
I'm gonna run him over with their accord.
Illusions,
Rage. Oh, it'll take like 18 times back and forth then. Rage filled Tyrannis' eyes when Venom insulted him. He quickly calmed himself and said,
Quickly muttered to himself, "Water off a duck's back, water off a duck's back."
So be it. You and your Snow Queen shall die together.
Tyrannis then gathered a huge ball of energy to kill the symbiote.
Just from around. We just sweep up some energy.
I've been saving this up all day. He pulls it out from his pocket.
At the,
Picks off the lint.
Just shrugs out a handkerchief. At this point, Elsa, Anna, and Kristoff managed to find a safe spot to observe the battle. As Elsa saw Tyrannis prepare one of his energy attacks, panic shot through her, for she remembered what those energy balls were capable of doing. Much to everyone's shock, Venom stood still, waiting on the Dark Lord to make his move. This particular energy ball was by far larger than the one Tyrannis tried to hit Eddie and Elsa with earlier.
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
About the balls?
Who's Tyranis?
He's a skull-faced guy. He has a skull on his face, but it's a whole skull.
Right.
Yeah.
Horror face.
Oh, okay. I got to draw this guy.
And
Yeah.
and aren't there eyes behind his skull as well?
I don't know if that was specified.
I think last chapter we found out that he had a face beneath the skull, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so he is totally ripped off from Skeletor.
The way that they phrased it though did not make it sound like Skeletor. It made it sound ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember the skull teeth now.
Yeah.
Skull tooth.
But just to be clear, from here on out, we will only take questions relating to Tyranus' balls.
Which are also skulls.
Now the big balls have more energy.
The Queen could only imagine what it would do to Eddie should it hit him. Suddenly, Tyranus launched the energy attack forward, sending it flying towards Venom. Elsa screamed as it approached its target.
Eddie, no!
However, what happened next shocked everyone, even Tyranus. When the attack was only inches away, Venom flung his arm in front of him, knocking the ball of energy away from him. The energy attack flew to the other side of the chamber and totally obliterated the section of the wall it hit. Everyone gasped with shock as debris and bricks went flying everywhere. Spider-Man shook his head in disbelief and exclaimed,
"He's gotten even stronger, if that's possible."
Tyranus screamed in frustration and shot 3 more energy balls at Venom. But how big were they in relation to the last ball?
3 more energy balls!
As the supercharged attacks approached their target, they were met with the same result. Venom effortlessly deflected the energy balls and sent them across the chamber, safely exploding far away. Venom knows how to handle balls, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Just fling an arm out.
That's what I heard.
I'm stealing from Futurama, but the headlines tomorrow are going to be "Balls Thoroughly Licked." Kristoff smiled and smarted off to the Dark Lord.
Smarted off.
Smart off. You haven't heard that? You're not cultured enough?
Give the Dark Lord the business.
You're screwed now, buddy!
To which Tyranus sneered at him. He suddenly thrust his staff forward, shooting an inferno attack at the symbiote. A few seconds later, Tyranus stopped his attack and eagerly looked to see if he killed his enemy. The smoke eventually cleared as a voice mocked,
You missed!
Suddenly, Venom emerged.
Was that Venom?
I think that's
It was a
Venom.
voice.
Just a voice.
Just a voice.
I'm walking here! You missed!
That would be funny if it was Kristoff. Like, Kristoff suddenly enters the fight, you know? Suddenly, Venom emerged from the smoke and quickly web-grabbed Tyrannus' staff. Then, with lightning speed, he broke the mystical weapon across his knee and threw the pieces to the ground. I feel like he got an editor for this chapter. Like, it's still, like, goofy, but it's much better, like, grammatically, you know? The Dark Lord stumbled back in complete shock as he tried backing away from Venom.
"What are you?"
Tyranus managed to say as he quickly went behind Carnage and Serpentine. Venom
"We're
took
Star Fox.
Venom took a few more steps forward and answered,
We are the reason why you should be afraid of the dark."
Edward Carnby comes in.
Actually, we are perfection.
"We are the one who knocks." Eddie Brock made his own face appear in time for his next and final sentence.
"I am Venom."
"Buy my action figures now at your local toy store." It was then the symbiote covered his face again as he leapt into battle. Thankfully, Spider-Man and Iron Man jumped into the fray as well. Before Venom could make his way to finish off Tyranus, Carnage intercepted him and said,
"Let's see who the superior symbiote is once and for all."
After saying that, I feel
close.
like, I feel it real close. After saying that, Carnage formed his right hand into a whip and attempted to use it. However, Venom deflected it and used his symbiote to stretch his arm and decked Carnage.
That's an action where you can really see him like rolling for. I form my hand into a whip and attempt to use it. Roll against dexterity.
After he knocked Carnage on his back, Venom mocked. So really, it was a lie earlier when it said that it like Eddie spoke his final sentence.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Did you really think that you had all of the good powers?
I can make a fist, apparently. Like, that's not really an... As his arm... Learned that one from Mr. Fantastic. As his arm went back to place, he quickly picked up Carnage and rammed him through a set of pillars in the chamber. He continued holding on to him as he ran along the side of the pillars while continuing to run Carnage through them.
If you'll remember from the last time, we determined this must have been the pillar storage chamber.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
so many
right.
For the
pillars.
amount of pillars that we've already destroyed, and he can still run along a...
It's like a Stonehenge of pillars. It's not attached to the ceiling. They're just kind of scattered.
They're
Right.
actually just rentals for proms and things.
That's right.
So they're like foam.
As he reached the end of the line, he hurled the evil symbiote across the chamber. When Carnage made impact, he rolled across the ground violently. I want to roll violently. However, before he stopped rolling, Venom was already there. He quickly web-grabbed Carnage and slung him into the air, then slammed him into the ground with blinding force. Wham! Venom attempted to continue his attack, but when he descended on him, Carnage countered the assault. Oh my god, he is so bad at writing fighting. Every sentence is exactly the same, basically. Grabbing Venom by the throat, Carnage formed his sledgehammer and knocked him in the head with it one good time. However, when he tried delivering
sound effect.
it's the same goddamn thing. However, when he tried delivering a second blow, Venom blocked the attack and punched him. Carnage managed to break Venom's hold on him and escape. As he retreated across the chamber, Venom was still on his tail. Reaching a nearby wall, Carnage quickly formed his claws and attempted to swipe Venom with them. He managed to get a few licks on Venom as the symbiote roared in anguish from the cuts. It was then, ding, Carnage formed a blade hand and attempted to slice Venom. However, his enemy anticipated the move. Grabbing the blade hand, Venom quickly lifted Carnage up and began slamming him into the wall repeatedly with terrifying force. Bang! 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 The symbiote caused the ever-growing indention in the wall to expand with each bang! Whatever merciful side Eddie Brock had was dead and gone, if only for the moment as he continued his malicious attack on Carnage. Kristoff, Anna, and most importantly, Elsa watched in stunned silence as Venom mercilessly caused a great deal of harm to Carnage.
He's harming him.
A few more bangs went by before Venom body slammed the other symbiote to the ground. As Carnage lied on the ground... All right, that one's tough. I'll give him that one. Magna cum laude. As Carnage lied on the ground, Venom took that opportunity to yell up to Iron Man, who was free at the moment. Oh, he's just free at the moment, just not doing anything.
Yeah, sitting there drinking tea.
You got a couple minutes?
Want to test out your shooting skills?
After that, he snatched up Carnage and did the unthinkable. He mustered every bit of his strength and began pulling the Carnage symbiote off of Cletus Cassidy. The symbiote began shrilling its high-pitched noise as Venom continued to peel it off of the psychotic killer. Cletus began screaming violently at Venom.
Ah! You prick!
Finally, Venom managed to completely peel the symbiote off of Carnage and threw it up in the air. Cletus screamed in horror as Iron Man produced his arm cannon and blasted the symbiote in midair. Good thing he wasn't busy. Enraged at what just happened, the psychotic killer produced a knife and attempted to rush Venom with it.
What did he whittle it? You killed my symbiote, you mother!
Before he could finish speaking, Venom turned around and grabbed him by the throat with one hand.
Well timed.
Eddie Brock made his own face appear as he looked his enemy in the eyes and said,
Say goodnight.
Then the symbiote covered his face again right before he snapped Cletus Cassidy's neck, killing him instantly. Venom roared in victory as he carelessly tossed the body aside and turned his attention to Tyranis and Serpentine. Whatever humanity Eddie Brock possessed had taken the sidelines as his primal side was in complete control. However, the love he had for Elsa was alive and well, for protecting her was his true motivation. The sound of Cassidy's neck cracking echoed throughout the chamber as everyone, including Serpentine and Tyranis, turned
Wish I had
around.
some celery.
including Serpentine and Tyranis turned around in time to see Venom throw away the dead body. As the symbiote approached them, another evil smile crossed his face while he said,
You have no idea how long I've waited to do that.
I just picture them like, oh my god, we were just fooling. Jesus, man. As the rage fueled the fires in his eyes and mouth, Tyranis shouted,
You'll be right behind him, symbiote.
As he and Serpentine got into a fighting stance, he added,
Carnage was an expendable asset. He can be easily replaced. You won't be.
It was on that note. Does that count?
That's
I wonder.
really close.
It's like a cousin.
I'm gonna say yes.
It was on that note the battle continued. Thankfully, Spider-Man and Iron Man jumped back into the fight as well. Oh good, they're off their break now. The fight was beginning to turn in their favor as the villains were outnumbered and outmaneuvered.
Reunion.
Yeah, that's right.
Spidey, punch me back in.
As Spider-Man and Iron Man backed Serpentine and Tyranis up against the wall, neither villain noticed Venom descend on them until it was too late. The symbiote brought both of his fists down on their heads at full force, knocking them into a daze. He then quickly kicked Tyranis out of the way as he grabbed and threw Serpentine.
Kind of a confusing action. Spitfire says, a lot of rubbernecking in this fight.
You're next, Snake Boy.
He mocked as he approached Serpentine. The reptilian menace attempted to... It's just that guy. The reptilian menace attempted to rush Venom at full speed, but the symbiote caught him and laughed. It was then... Serpentine extended his fangs and bit Venom on the shoulder. Man, this chapter is starting to pick up here.
Yeah.
Dropping Serpentine. Venom grabbed and held onto his shoulder as he staggered back looking shocked. But then he smiled and stood back up as he put his hand down, saying,
Just kidding.
Okay, so he's kidding about being poisoned, I guess. Is that? Yeah, okay.
I don't know what's going on.
I faked being poisoned.
An angered Serpentine hissed at him as the symbiote said,
Come on, my name is Venom. What made you think your snake bite would hurt me?
Right after he said that, oh man, that's so close. Right after he said that, Venom web grabbed Serpentine and slung him across the chamber. However, Serpentine used his superhuman
like
agility.
in a hammock.
Right. However, Serpentine used his superhuman agility to catch his balance and go back on the attack. He leapt high into the air and landed on Venom's back as he began hitting him really fast.
So fast, guys.
He leapt high into the air and landed on Venom's back as he began hitting him really fast. Elsa couldn't take it anymore as she watched Serpentine attack Venom. Running towards the battle, Anna said,
Elsa, no!
To which the Snow Queen replied,
I can help him, Anna. Trust me.
Realizing what she intended to do, Kristoff asked,
What if you miss again?
to which Elsa answered confidently,
I won't.
riveting dialogue. She then ran up to the two...
Give it my all.
What if you miss?
I won't. All right, see,
I'm sorry,
okay.
I didn't do those well enough.
Guess you got that covered then.
No,
all right.
you inspired me. That's all. It wasn't at all that I was doing it because you failed so badly.
He's going to be quoting that in the cafeteria for like the next 6 lunches.
And then she was like, I won't. She then ran up to the two monsters as Venom attempted to reach behind him to grab Serpentine. As he looked over and saw Elsa prepare one of her ice attacks, he reached for his enemy with renewed determination. Venom was finally able to rip him off as he threw... What? Okay.
I'm gonna have a fork-shaped tongue.
You gave me a 5 and I gave you back 3 and now I got 2. You're anyway. Venom was finally able to rip him off as he threw Serpentine and shouted to Elsa,
Now!
The Queen immediately fired her attack and hit Serpentine on both of his legs, freezing them solid. The villain crashed to the ground while screaming from the pain of the attack. Serpentine continued holding on to his frozen legs while in the fetal position until he saw Venom coming towards him. He tried to crawl away. Oh, I really hope he just bites his head off. He tried to crawl away, but he wasn't fast enough as the symbiote closed in on him. Standing over him, Venom smiled as he kicked him in the ribs, knocking Serpentine on his back. As Serpentine glared up at Venom, the symbiote said,
I want you to watch this reptile man. Somebody keep an eye on this reptile man.
or I picture him like taking out a small reptile man. It's like, I taught him to dance.
Yeah.
Come on, do it. Hello, my baby. Hello, my daughter. Oh, he won't do it for anybody else.
Then, with all of his might, Venom kicked the ice legs, shattering them completely.
Oh my god.
No.
Prince Hans appeared in his human form as he let loose a blood-curdling scream. He tried crawling away again as he reached his hand out to Tyranis, who was across the chamber, and pleaded to him.
Master, help me, please!
At this point, Iron Man happened to launch a rocket that exploded next to the Dark Lord, causing him to soar across the room and land near Hans. Tyranis then
Just
rose.
happened to.
Sorry, I was just launching a rocket.
Sorry, I haven't put that button yet. I just want to see what it does.
Tyranis then rose back to his feet and began laughing as the heroes approached him. Not liking a sudden outburst, Spider-Man asked,
What's so funny?
to which the Dark Master answered,
You may have defeated my minions, but the battle is just beginning.
"Oh God." He then walked up. He then walked up to Hans and said,
He just walks up to home.
Yeah.
I mean, he landed close to him, right? But isn't Hans dead by now? I mean, I would think
He's on the
Hans had
floor.
bled out at this point.
It's time to show them our little trick.
Gonna puppeteer him.
5, 6, 7, 8.
All of a sudden, Hans began laughing softly despite being in a great deal of pain. Looking up to Tyranis, he answered,
Do your will on me, master.
and then some Barry White kicked in. All of a sudden, the Dark Lord leaned over his servant and opened his mouth.
Whoa.
What happened next? I see a popsicle. What happened next shocked everyone beyond words. Tyrannis's
They're
mouth.
going to talk anyway.
I mean, it's. Wasn't that what they said the last
Your
time?
words, narrator?
Tyrannis's mouth began to expand and open wider as Hans's body levitated off of the floor.
Did anybody see that Artemis Fowl movie? Josh Gad does the whole huge mouth thing. So that was probably neat. If anybody saw it.
So it was a long walk, but apparently we're somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrannis is doing the Kirby right now.
Oh yeah. Or like for any Vor fans out there, here you go. Glad to make you happy. At first, his body slowly floated towards his master until something terrifying happened. Tyrannis began sucking him into his mouth at full speed.
Full speed.
Delete.
Full speed suck ahead.
and swallowed him whole. Okay. After consuming Prince Hans,
Then he pressed down, and he got a fork-shaped tongue.
After consuming Prince Hans, Tyrannis began howling with laughter as his body became engulfed with blue flames. At this point, does that Kristoff and Anna made their way to join the rest of the group as Tyrannis looked up to everyone and taunted,
Now you shall see my true form.
his body began. This isn't even my final form. His body began to morph and grow rapidly as he continued laughing manically. Before they,
Well, yeah, this is
his true form.
yeah,
The form that's at the core of him requires him to eat Hans.
yep.
Okay.
What part don't you understand?
I've been waiting for this my entire
All right.
life.
Sure.
Even though they're from different like realms or whatever. Yeah.
You just have to sacrifice one minion.
Well, most of a minion.
Before they could see the rest of the transformation, a great smoke cloud emerged, blocking their view of Tyranis. A few
Great
moments.
smoke cloud.
It's a typical magician's trick. A few moments went by before the smoke cleared, allowing everyone to see.
He was a helicopter.
Everyone eagerly scanned the room, looking for the Dark Lord and dreading to see his new form. However, no one was there.
That's great, honestly. You'll see my true form, poof. Yeah.
Distantly, you hear like tap, 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 tap. Car door opens, closes.
Where'd he go?
Spider-Man asked aloud, to which Venom answered,
He's still here. He's playing with us.
Just after he said that, the ground began shaking violently as everyone stumbled and tried to regain their balance. The earthquake only got worse until a terrifying creature emerged from the earth roaring. Once they saw him, the group knew exactly who it was. Tyranis. The Dark Lord had taken the form of a 400...
Two and two together.
Who is this? The Dark Lord had taken the form of a 400-foot serpent with fiery blue eyes and was completely skeletal. However, instead of his typical human bones that Tyranis was normally made up of...
Snake bones?
Oh, well, yeah, snake bones, probably.
That does seem to track, yeah.
I was going to say he's totally ripping off of Aladdin now.
Yes,
but
Yeah, that's what I was
Jafar.
thinking that. Yeah. He's Jafar.
But no, he's a skeletal snake
His new
with special bones.
his new
My
skeleton.
special bones.
I haven't seen Aladdin in so long. All I remember is just, Robin Williams being like, huh? Is this enough for my contract? How about if I do this? Oh, here's another impersonation. Oh my God, I can't take these things anymore. Anyway, it's sad to make the suicide joke now, but like that's what it sounded like at the time, a desperate cry for help. It was like Disney's A Desperate Cry for Help, starring Robin Williams.
I think it was mostly cocaine.
Yeah.
Either you say tomato, I say tomato. His new skeleton was pure crystal with spikes coming from the crest of his head. The serpent was also capable of breathing fire as it shot out a raging inferno into the air. Now, I like that it shows off a little first, it doesn't immediately try to burn them. It's just like, check this shit out.
Yes, and in true form, everybody stands and watch.
Exhaling the fire onto others.
What was that?
She's asking because it's capable of breathing fire. Is that like in and out? Mostly just out.
Yeah, I think
So
most.
we'll never drown
Generally,
in the
it's
fire.
out.
Not even flinching, Eddie made his own face appear as he said,
Elsa, Anna, Kristoff, y'all might want to sit this one out.
Oh,
We don't get
Very
nothing.
much like a Borderlands boss. You're right.
Coming up next on Disney Channel.